Hi, welcome to Sheepish Podcast, episode 13. Today is Wednesday, February 20th, 2013. My name is Holly. I'm your host. Well, welcome. It's been a little while since we last talked. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I'll go into that a little bit more at the end. But to everybody who reached out, thank you. It meant a lot. I thought that I'd bring George on for a cameo because he hasn't been on in a little while. He's been a little camera shy. And as you can tell right now, he's actually still being camera shy. Yeah. He's been super lovey since I got home, and I'm not sure what's going on, but he's probably going to abandon us in just now. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started by welcoming everybody or the new members to the RAV board. And okay, I'm trying to go paperless, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do things. But we've had 5 new members. And so welcome to Irina from Manitoba, Canada, Elspeth from Exeter, Devon, England, Farmanitter, Sarah from Virginia, and Nuclear Snake, whose first name he had, sometimes I'm B, sometimes I'm Frank, from Maryland. So welcome to everybody. And Elspeth, I gotta say, you're in Exeter, and that just makes me think of Sense and Sensibility and how yeah. Book nerd, literary love. So welcome to everybody. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. There have been a couple or one big change to what's on the current roster. So let's go ahead and dive right in. On the current roster, you guys should recognize this one by now. It's in the Yarn Pop Gadgety bag. And it's Celestarium. And while it doesn't look like I've made a lot of progress, I actually have. I actually made it a point this weekend to work on this while I was teaching. And so I actually made a lot of progress on this. I think when we last talked, I was about here. And so I've made decent progress. I'm still on Charts E for this, but I think I'm over halfway through Chart E, or all the Charts E. I just need to sit down and knit on it. I keep getting distracted though, and for good and bad reasons. Yeah. But yeah, I got some love. It's one of those things I was teaching. One of the classes I was teaching this weekend was a lace class, and they saw my charts before class, and they were all very intimidated. And then when I taught them how to read charts, they were able to look at the charts and go, oh, wow, that's actually mostly stockinette stitch. I love it when that happens. Because they were just like, oh, I can do that. Yes, you can. So, Celestarium. Next up, in the Piddle Loop large wedge bag, is my Celia, which has not gotten any love this week. It's still in the same spot. So still under the armholes, about an inch. I'll get back to it. It's just one of those things that I haven't really felt like dragging around a sweater. I've still got this much left in the second ball. And I wound a new ball, so I have no excuses. So that'll make ball 3 of the 9 balls that I have. I'm guesstimating I'm going to use about 7.5. And this is the Madeline Tosh Twisty K, or DK Twist, in the Tarte colorway, and it's a DK weight. Oh, love. So yeah, I'm showing that even though it's had no progress, because I know that there are a few of you, Tanya, who absolutely love seeing that red. So I thought I'd indulge. Oops. And then something new to the roster is something that you're really not going to see a whole heck of a lot of. Oops, sorry for all the crinkling. For a simple reason that it's my new sock design. I'm not going to show you the front because, you know. But that's the start of it. It's the toe. It's going to be a toe up heel flap pattern, a reverse heel flap. And I'm using the, oh goodness, why is this escaping me? Oh wow. String Theory. Wow, sorry. But String Theory Dye Works in their caper sock. It is gorgeous and soft and springy and bouncy. I am knitting this, as you can see, I'm in the middle of a row. Oops. I'm knitting this on US ones, an actual US ones. So the 2.25 millimeter needles. And I'm actually testing out a new set of needles. These are the carbons. They just came into my LYS Fiberspace. Oops. There you go. And they have a set out to try, and I forget what size it was. I want to say it was either like a 4 or 5, but I thought that the tips were incredibly dull. Apparently I'm weird because I'm the only one that said that. But on the ones, let's see, there we go. On the ones, they're much sharper. I actually like working with these. They're very lightweight. The cord's nice and flexible, so that does a lot. It's taken a little bit to get used to working with these because I am used to having more weight in my hands. But I'm liking these. I'm at least liking the ones. I picked up a set of 1.5 so I can try the 1/4 millimeter size difference. And I'll let you know what I think. I don't know. I was thinking about doing, I don't know, a review of the different types of needles. I mean, I've done a book review and a magazine review, but I don't know. Would you guys be interested in things like that? Let me know. I'd really like to get some feedback on that and see what you guys think. But as it is, I'm really loving this yarn. It's super, super squishy, and I kind of need to get my hands on more of it. Because, yeah, I need more yarn like I need a hole in the head. This is done out of the colorway is Snow White Stress, and it was part of the Wool Girl Fairy Tales yarn sock club shipment, and I think this is my last one. It's also, let's see if I can get this to get the color right. That's close. It's a little darker than that, but it's also pretty close to TARDIS blue. And yes, you guys have already seen I've talked about my love for the Doctor. So these are actually going to be Doctor Who inspired socks. I'm hoping to get work through the first sock and get a pattern written up in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes. I mean, technically, I should be able to get through the first sock in a week and get that pattern written up, but I'm giving myself a little bit more time. And then I'm going to find some test knitters and see who I can bribe with yarn and stash or blocking to test knit for me. I'm toying with the idea of writing it both top down and toe up. I don't know. We're going to see how this experiment goes with the toe up heel flap socks. I actually have not written one of those. I've knit them, but I've not written one. So we're going to see how that goes, and hopefully I'll get some good feedback from my test knitters, whoever they may be. If you're interested in test knitting, let me know. I know that I've got a few tried and true people that I can depend on for that, but if you're interested, I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, so I'm hoping to have that done and out and sometime in March. Um, to coincide, and I'm not doing this to coincide, but it kind of does. Um, I really should put this at the end, but this kind of goes into the scouting report, and I really should hold off on that. But there's a reason for the Doctor Who. Well, other than the fact that I heart. It's actually going to be a reference. I mean, it's in TARDIS blue, and the pattern, the stitch pattern that I chose, reminds me of the TARDIS and the Doctor in general, and so the pattern is going to have a reference to the 10th Doctor. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll work. So that's going to bring us to alumni. And yeah, you guys have seen this one project kind of go on and on and on, and it's finally off the needles. It used to live, in the Pride and Prejudice bag from Stitched by Jessa Lou. And stripy socks. Yes. I cannot find my sock blockers to save my life, so I'm sorry that they're not on blockers and looking all pretty. But they're pretty. As you can see, I kind of folded one in half a different way. But you can see that the stripes almost perfectly match, which makes my little OCD heart go pitter-pat when it comes to striped socks. Yay! I have not tried, I mean, I've tried them on after I wove in all of the ends, and yes, all of the ends are woven in. I tried them on and they were snug, but they were fine. But I actually haven't worn them because I wanted to show them to you guys. And I'm kind of excited to wear them. I don't know when. It's cold here. However, tomorrow I have to dress like a grown-up and not in hand-knit socks for work because I have to do an interview. So Friday, I'm looking forward to it. So that brings us to the scouting report. There have been a few different things. So stop one on the scouting report, upcoming patterns that I want to do. And for those of you who watch Knitting in Circles, Amy and Darren were talking about doing their next knit along being a pop culture knit along. And it can be anything related to pop culture. You can double dip, I think, if you use a pop culture named yarn with a pop culture themed pattern, or if you spin a pop culture themed fiber. So which is where the idea of knitting or designing a sock that had something to do with Doctor Who came from. And so, but then I was like, but there's a sock pattern and I had perfect red sock yarn for it. Yeah, let me pull this up. It is the Bow Ties Are Cool Socks by Maddie Harrington. Let's see if we can get some of the, oh, whoops. Okay, there we go. See if we can get some of the glare off of there. You can kind of see it. It's a textured sock pattern. It's a really fairly easy sock pattern. I'm hoping that I can power through it. I have some Uncommon Thread yarn, some of their BFL sock in the Debauchery colorway. And that knit along starts January. Wow. Sorry, everyone. March 1st and goes through March 31st. So I figure I'm knitting with red yarn, bow ties are cool, a nod to the 11th Doctor. I'm designing a pattern that has to do with the 10th Doctor. Yeah. Nerd up. So that's part of the scouting report. Another part, oh my. I have been trying to get this for so long. This is from Trailing Clouds, and she's got an Etsy shop. I think it's, well, she's got trailingclouds.com on her label. Here we go. Let's see if you can see that. There we go, trailingclouds.com. And this is her Blueface Leicester self-striping sock yarn in Mind the Gap. Yeah, that was a squeak. All the colors in here are rail lines on the London Underground. This makes me insanely happy. I've been trying to get some of this for so long, and I finally scored some. I kind of did a happy dance because it was late at night on a Saturday, and I was in bed, and I'm like, yay! When I first heard about the sock yarn, I kind of had to have it. My very first trip out of the United States, I took about, oh gosh, 8 years ago? Yeah, it's been a while. But we went to London and to Paris, and I loved both cities. And London will always have a special place in my heart. I went with my best friend, and she and I, when we go to foreign countries, we make it a point to ride public transport as much as possible. So we kind of got to know the tube. So I am going to knit these up, and these will probably be just simple stripy socks, just so I can see all of the beautiful colors and remind myself of London. I have not been back in ages. I really want to go back. It's that whole money thing and time thing. It'll happen one of these days, right? Well, she also included this cute little mini skein. It's variegated. But it's these beautiful, beautiful greens. And they're showing up fairly gray-green on the screen, or at least on my screen. But you've got some yellowy greens going into seafoam green. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, if I'm going to do anything with it, but it's a cute little mini skein. So yeah, there was that. There was the purchasing of the carbon needles, because I really needed size 1s, because I have 1.5s. Well, I used to have 1.5s coming out of everywhere. I can't find those, but that's beside the point. I know I've got them somewhere, and some of them are going to be on socks. But I don't really have one, so I wanted to buy a pair of the carbons when they came in and give them a good test run, and so far I like them. But when I was at the shop on Saturday and Sunday, they were having a trunk show with the fiberists, and I was really good Saturday. I taught classes, I looked around really quickly, and then I went home. It was a lot slower on Sunday, or at least when I got there, because I was there before the shop opened. Of course it'd be slower then. Yeah, and I actually got to look around. Sorry for the crinkling. I ended up coming home with this. Again, fiber. Have I spun any of the fiber that I have? No. Do I need to? Yes. But it's pretty and soft. This is the Fiberist Specimen 191. It's their Blueface Leicester and Tussa top. So it's 85% BFL, 15% Tussa top. And oh my god, it's beautiful and soft. And I kind of want to pet it. I love the fact that they have this little bit outside of the ball or the bag, so you can actually pet it and feel what it, feel what it feels like. I'm kind of in love with it. So yeah, that on the stash enhancement side, I've been pretty good. Pretty good. I won't say an angel, but pretty good. Yes, I'm giving myself an excuse. Yeah. I'm just, yeah. anyway, so on to what's making me happy this week. One thing that you might have noticed is that I have a new toy. I got an iPad mini a week and a half ago, maybe a little longer. I basically put out a plurk just asking if one were to choose between an iPad and an iPad mini, what would one choose? And it, got some of the responses like, well, it depends on what you want to use it for. And I have, and soon it will be had, a first generation iPad. I got it right around the time that the second generations were being released. And it served me well. It has. I've noticed that it's been a little slower lately, but it's still got some life in it. But I really, I'm a tech geek. I love things. I love new things. So I started looking at the iPads and the iPad mini, and I had convinced myself that I was going to get an iPad, a new iPad, the new Retina display, and it was a 64 gig iPad. That's what I was going to get. Yeah, I started playing with the mini, and I actually compared the displays, and it's taken a little getting used to the smaller display on this, but I really like it. I'm not really noticing all that much of a difference. One of the things that I saw when I was looking at the Retina display and this display was that the Retina display tended to have a lot more noise to it. If it was showing a video that wasn't optimized for it. And what I mean by noise is that, like on Fields of White, there was a white t-shirt, and it didn't look white. It looked like white with a bunch of other stuff in there. So, yeah, I mean, I like this. I've actually been using it to watch podcasts and to watch Netflix, so I can catch up on Doctor Who and try and finish. I will finally finish season 4 soon. I've taken my time. But yeah, I've been using that a lot. I really like it. I have one of their fancy pantsy covers. It's kind of annoying me more than anything else because it won't stay on, but I can't just permanently put it on. Yeah. Plus, the folding doesn't really work for everything that I want it to because it doesn't stay. It's easy to knock over. So I'm probably going to get another case for it, like an actual case. But one of the things that I did splurge on and get is this cute little sticker on the back. A skin. It's from Jella Skins, and it's actually a London theme. And because I wanted to protect the back of this, because with just this, while the front is protected, the back wasn't. And underneath the skin, it had already got, like, the big shiny apple had already had a couple of scratches to it, just in the week before I got this. Maybe it's been 2 weeks. Anyway, in the week before I got this, and I wanted to protect this at least a little bit, because I'm still torn on whether I'm going to get a hard case or not. But yeah, so new toy, making me very, very happy. Also, what's making me happy, the kindness of knitters. You guys have heard me say before that knitters are some of the best people in the world. Well, knitters, crafters, knitters, crocheters, spinners, you guys are some of the best people in the world. My most recent reason for saying that is last week I was on Plurk and I was miserable I was physically just not able to sit down and record. At work one day, my back basically seized up and I could barely move. And it's like I've had back issues since I was in my 20s, like early 20s, because I've had 2 car accidents, one right after the other. within 11 months of each other, both of which I shouldn't have walked away from, and I did. Thank goodness. But my back basically gives me issues every once in a while, and I try and take care of it. But it had been a while since I'd had a massage or just been able to soak and try and loosen up the muscles. So I scheduled a massage for Friday after work, and oh my God, it did such wonders. I mean, my back is actually still a little tight, but an hour and a half with this guy who, when I told him, yeah, I'm a medium to hard person when it comes to touch, he didn't pull any punches, which is good. I think he was a little worried that I was going to be like, oh my gosh, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, no, that's not me. I'm like, I sit there and it's like, I know that I need to have the pressure to release all of the toxins. So, yeah, so, but you guys made me so happy just the concern that you guys showed. So thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate that. But also, one of the other reasons why knitters are the best people are that the last couple of weeks I've done, just a surprise random active patterns Tuesday, just kind of joining in, and just the feedback. This Tuesday I had a day where I was pretty rushed off my feet, and it was crazy, and it wasn't the best day, and I decided to do a little something for other people. And hearing back and knowing that I made these people's day made mine. So it's one of those things that if you can, I would definitely, recommend doing a random active pattern. Just because it's easy to do, it doesn't cost that much, but it turns somebody's day around. And then in turn, it turned my day around. So, yeah. Knitters are awesome. Crocheters, awesome. Spinners, awesome. Don't want to leave you out. Also, I have been teaching a lot, which is not to say that I don't enjoy it, because I do. I'm just exhausted. Like right now it's 12:01. So it's no longer, oops, sorry. Just need to open this up. It's 12:01, so it's no longer Wednesday, it's Thursday. And I'm sitting up and recording. But yeah, I've been doing lots of teaching, and I've had some great classes, so that makes me happy as well. But yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, I just wanted to sit down and record and tell you guys, thanks for the concern, thanks for the messages. You've really made my day, or week, really. It's been a busy and rough couple of weeks with my back acting up as it has. So, thank you. I'm hoping, knock on these plastic tables that I have right now, that I'm working off of right now, that I'll be able to record within the next week. The second and third weeks in March, I was actually planning on going to Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet, and unfortunately I've had to cancel that because I have to travel for work. So I'm going to be doing that 2 weeks in a row. So hopefully I will be able to get some recording done and get it out a little earlier, because I'll be sitting in a hotel room in Atlantic City. Why not? If you know of any, I'm going to actually be like in Atlantic City proper and like on the boardwalk, and I don't think there are any yarn shops around there. I took a quick look, and it looks like the closest ones I'd have to do like a 20-minute drive to, and since I'm not renting a car, I'm taking the train up. That's not going to work. So I can just hear my mother going, "Yay, no stash enhancement." Because she would. Hi, Mom. But yeah, so that's about it. If I'm sure I'm leaving something out. Oh, yes. Podcasts. Again, if you've got any suggestions for podcasts to watch, I'd love to hear them. I'm actually thinking of opening up a thread on the group and just seeing what everybody is watching and listening to podcast wise. I do have that thread open. I do have the thread open that's just saying, what do you knit to? But I can open one that's just like, what podcast do you watch and listen to? I was also thinking, it's like I think of all these things right as I'm finishing up because I think of all of them after I finish recording the week before. But I was thinking of doing something along the lines of a knit along, but one that would go for the entire length of hockey season. Something along the lines of knit your team's colors, or, what project are you working on? Because I know that we have some hockey fans out there. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm leaning towards just what are you working on during the games, because, and we can come up with some clever name at some point. But, not everybody knits in their team's colors. I will be in March because red, caps, yay. But yeah, let me know. I'd love the feedback on that. What do you think? And I'm hoping to do a few more as we get comfortable and grow. Do a few more knit-alongs along the way, and possibly team up with some people. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But anyways, I think that was everything. I now think that's everything. Oh, no, I keep forgetting. The podcast comment was because I actually am watching a new podcast, or a reboot of a podcast. And I actually I haven't seen if there's a new episode up recently, but Chronic Knitter, Tanya, is recording her podcast again. And oh God, it's skipping. I'm going to have to put that in the show notes because I suck. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, Tanya. But she actually gave me a shout out in her first podcast back, and talking about the red yarn. And yes, we have a love. We have a love for the red yarn. I have a love for the red period, but the red yarn, that works. But her podcast is actually extremely entertaining and informative, because she doesn't just talk about her knitting, she talks about the crafting that she does. And her first episode back, she was talking about ear gauges, which is something that I know of people who have them, but I don't ask questions. So she was explaining a little bit about that. So I got to learn something new, which it, makes me insanely happy that I get to learn something. But yeah, she's got a very fun podcast, and she is friends with Rena and Joe from the Knitiots. And oh, Rena and Joe, I hope you had a really good move. I know that you were in the process of moving, so I'm hoping that everything went smoothly. So yeah, I think now that's it. If you'd like to reach me, you can always reach me via email at sheepishpodcast@gmail.com, on Ravelry as Knit Girl, spelled conventionally, and I'm Sheepish Podcast on both Twitter and Plurk. If you are returning, thank you. Thank you so much for coming back. And if it's your first time, I hope you stick around. I hope you liked what you saw. And yeah, have a great week, everybody. I will hopefully see you in 1 week and not more. But have a great week. Good night.